fundamental point. If you don't smell mold, by no means does that exclude the possibility that there is mold-related and illness going on in the people who are living there. Let's see, Eric says, if you look at the first cluster of chronic fatigue syndrome as a cluster of teachers in a single room, a teacher's lounge. Others one room away didn't get sick. That's how powerful Stachybotrys can be. One location in one room can do the trick. Yes, and I am assuming this is Eric from the Incline Village cluster. Love to have you come and talk to us about this. This is a huge issue. And again, it was one of the early points with Incline Village to show that, yeah, there's something out there that we have to understand better. I do think this is a largely unexplored area of medicine, despite the excellent work by Dr. Shoemaker and Dr. Mary Ackerley and Dr. Mary K. Ross and so many other experts in this area. It's still an area that is not accepted. And as I said, in the Alzheimer's community, there's no discussion that this is one of the causes and one of the contributors to this common and very difficult problem to treat. Valerie says a lot of people know about respiratory effect, but only now is brain fog related. Yeah, great point. And I think brain fog has really come up largely because of COVID-19. So common with COVID. And again, these are all additive and even sometimes synergistic. So we always say anyone who's had COVID, please get on active prevention. Similarly, anyone who's had water intrusion, water damage in their building, please get on active prevention so we can really reduce the global burden of dementia. Huge issue. And you mentioned living in the subtropics. Yeah, and I know Florida has an issue. And Brian, can you say from a national perspective, do you kind of see this everywhere, or do you worry more about places like Florida where it's very humid, where I grew up? Do you worry more about it? I know Mary Ackerley points out that Arizona you'd think would be one of the best because it's so dry, and yet they see a ton of mycotoxin-related illness there. Are there better and worse places to live?
Not really. The majority of what is causing this stuff is not where you live, it's the interior space where you live, meaning what's happening in your house. Most of this stuff is internal water issues that weren't fixed or that you didn't know about. A leak under the sink, your toilet's leaking, this or that. That has nothing to do with living in Florida, right? That just has to do with your house having water issues. Now, when you're in a more humid space like that, there are a couple little extra things that may happen, but that's not the bulk of what's going on. More so in the heating air conditioning systems. If you're running if you have like a fresh air intake in the south, pushing 70% humidity into your air conditioning system, good luck. That thing is covered in mold, right? So there's some little things that you do kind of depending on where you are that might change a little, but at the end of the day, it is mostly what's happening in the house. I'm from Vegas. Bunch of people in Arizona. These are all desert, dry climates. It happens everywhere.
Yeah, great point. And Eric continues here, says, what is remarkable is that not a single doctor or researcher in the world who read about the original chronic fatigue syndrome cohort was able to recognize that this was a mold incident. Eric, such a good point. And one of the things that's really intrigued me is that what we're saying the same thing with Alzheimer's. Politics and finance always trump the truth.